good, yo? It's your boy Ty back here with another episode of our Extreme Makeover My Team edition, in which you guys send in your squads. I looked them over, see how much MT you have. You guys tell me whether you're current gen or next gen, and I make adjustments to your squad to try to help improve your squad. Ultimately, that's my goal, is to try to make each and every one of your squads as good as they can be for the MT you have, but while trying to be smart with the MT as well. So basically, if I had your squad, what squad would I run with instead? But before we dive into the first squad here, if you are new to my channel and have not yet, please consider smashing that subscribe button, as we are on the road to 60,000 subscribers. So a lot of what I'm going to be doing today in this specific video revolves around the point guard position, because we did get a lot of point guards in NBA 2K21 MyTEAM, and which I think are pretty game changing. And so that's probably going to be a lot of my main adjustments. Like with the first squad here sent in by my guy Nate, says he has 2 million MT and that he does play on next gen. So if you're on if you're on next gen, the first thing I'm going to tell you to do is just plug Clyde in there for Michael Jordan and sell Michael Jordan. That's the first kind of suggestion I have, is because Clyde on next gen is just super good, and he had these bench spots filled out, and there's never any reason to run more than a 10-man. So whoever's those extra players, just go ahead and get rid of them. The next suggestion I'm going to give you is to get rid of Russell Westbrook. Now, I know that might be an unpopular opinion, but this guy right here is absolutely incredible. I'm telling you guys, current gen, next gen, it doesn't matter. Dark matter, Grant Hill is the best point guard in the game. Now, the next thing I'm going to tell you to do, Dono's okay, but I'm going to tell you to pick up Chris Webber. Now, again, next gen wise, Chris Webber, you're probably going to want to run him with a secondary ball handler. But Chris Webber gives you a 6'9" point guard. And you look at Chris Webber's price, he's going for just over 100K MT right now. Super cheap. And in my opinion, for that budget, you're not going to be able to really get much more. And then outside of that, the next big upgrade I think you need to make is to your backup center position. There's many different avenues you could go. You could try getting Kareem. You could try getting Wilt. And kind of that's the big suggestion I would have for you. Now, I know it's going to be pretty expensive, but you have 2 million MT. If you want to make your squad as good as possible, pick up Kareem. But if not, if you want to run with Powell and save the MT, that is just fine. Powell on next gen can at least hold it down. I would just really focus on those point guard positions. Grab Grant Hill and Chris Webber for under 500K MT. Your squad's looking a lot better. This next squad here is sent in by my guy Matt on Twitter. Does play on current gen and says he is willing to spend 200,000 MT. Wally is evoed up, but the problem I see with a lot of his guys is he does play on current gen, but a guy like Bradley Beal and a guy like Ray Allen, both those guys are a lot better on next gen. So we're just going to add a couple of guys to the end of the bench, and then we'll sort it out from there. So the first couple of guys I'm going to add to the end of the bench, Malik Sealy, Jeff Green, and then I also am going to add Leonel Simmons. Now, I know Leonel on current gen isn't quite as good, but he is still very solid. So with these guys added, where do you go with these specific guys? So the first thing I think we need to do is get Wally Szczerbiak out of the lineup, plug in Malik Sealy right there. Next, guys, I know Ray Allen is hyped up a lot, but the main reason Ray Allen is hyped up is because of how good he is on next gen. Then you're going to have a lot more success with Leonel Simmons. You can get Leonel Simmons and Malik Sealy both for like 25,000 MT. So super cheap. Now, I'm super high on Jeff Green. I really truly am. Diamond Jeff Green, I think he's very solid. And honestly, I think he's better than Anton Jameson. But if you're rocking with Anton Jameson, that's fine. So we're gonna forget about Jeff Green for a second. The biggest deviation I see is at your point guard position. You need this guy right here. Tyrese Halliburton has to be somewhere in your lineup. So whichever one is your favorite between Mitchell and Quickly, I think I like Quickly more. Get Mitchell out of there, plug Tyrese Halliburton into your lineup, and your lineup's already looking a lot better. Now, I don't love your center positions, especially Boogie Cousins on the bench. Not a huge Boogie Cousins, guys. If you want to pick up Sabonis, want to pick up Cat, you can do that. I know Boogie Cousins is a free card, so if you really want, you can rock out with this squad right here. And just with those simple adjustments, I think this squad looks a ton better. This next squad here was sent in by my guy Arctic on Twitter. Has 400K to work with, but I've done the math, and I don't have to really spend any MT on his squad. Now, we are going to make a few improvements, and that starts with getting Artis Gilmore out of your lineup, getting Rondo out of your lineup, another guy I'm not really a fan of. But this is going to be subject to opinion, right? I'm going to do this, and it's just really opinionated in what you do. Now, I personally would run Chris Webber with Kevin Durant. Now, the reason I'm going to do that and move Chris Webber to the starting lineup, move Grant Hill to the bench, because if you have Grant Hill and Kevin Durant in the same lineup, it just doesn't get the same effect. So let's just start Grant Hill, move Kevin Durant to the bench. I love Kevin Durant. It's not like Kevin Durant's bad. It's just I want Kevin Durant to be the primary ball handler and Chris Webber to run with Kevin Durant. Now, the small forward I'm going to pick up is a guy in Pink Diamond Darius Miles, who I'm super high on. I love Darius Miles. Think he is very, very solid as far as a Pink Diamond is concerned for his price. Very, very solid. And then at the backup center, we're going to add another guy that can handle the ball a little bit. Not that Magic Johnson. Pink Diamond Magic Johnson, the center. Now, here's the thing about your bench. You go 6'9" with Chris Webber, 6'10" with Kevin Durant, 6'6" Billy Cunningham, but he can guard interior pretty well. Mel Daniels is what? I don't know exactly. I want to say 6'9" with the 7'11" wingspan, I want to say is what he is. Then you got Magic Johnson, who's 6'9". Any one of those guys can defend the interior. If you want to switch matchups and have Magic guard, a point guard, you can do that and have Chris Webber guard a center. You can just kind of change up what you do with your bench. Your bench unit is definitely pretty flexible, but Magic Johnson only goes for around 20,000 MT, so I think him as well as Darius Miles for around 20K are great pickups to your squad, as well as moving Chris Webber to the point guard position. This next squad here was sent in by Bulbul's Burner on Twitter. Says he has no current MT to work with. He is on current gen. But here's the thing. If you have no MT and you're running Dirk Nowitzki, I'm sorry, but I'm going to tell you the traditional answer, guys. Sell Dirk, pick up Magic Johnson. Now, I get it. Magic isn't your ideal center, but he gives you quite a bit. It's different than Dirk, but he gives you quite a bit. I'm telling you, Magic Johnson's super, super solid. Now, I don't love Maxey as much as most people, but he's fine for this specific video. Now, when you do sell Dirk and tactically downgrade to Magic Johnson, you're going to have a little bit more MT to work with. Now, you might wonder, well, what do you do with that specific MT? Where do you go? And that's where I think it's tough. Now, for me personally, what I would do, I get what you're doing with Juan Carlos Navarro. I would sell him, pick up Chris Webber. That's what I personally would do. But obviously, if you're running Juan, you're running him for a reason. And that's the tough thing. It's like you're running Juan, and then you got LaMelo here on your bench. It's just like, I feel like right now you have so many people that can handle the ball and create. And so if you're going to do that, one thing I would suggest is selling Zach LaVine and picking up Malik Sealy. Just adding another defensive player, because you already got a lot of guys that can handle the ball, do some things with the ball. So selling Zach LaVine, picking up Malik Sealy is just kind of an offense-defense type of a change that I personally would suggest. The more defense you can get when you got Juan, Magic, and guys like Tyrese Haliburton, LaMelo Ball, the more defense you can get, the better off you're going to be. And then obviously when it comes down to it, I'm trying to save up to either probably get Chris Webber. That's my next kind of goal for this specific squad right here. This next squad here was sent in by my guy Garrett on current gen. Says he has 140,000 MT to work with. So normally I'd say 140,000. It's not much MT, but with his current squad, guys, you guys can see there's a lot to like about his squad. Now, it's intriguing to me, right? You go 6'9" at the point guard position. Then Kawhi is what, 6'7" in the game. 6'8" Paul Millsap. 6'10" Danny Ferry. And then 6'7" Wes Unseld. It's just super, super interesting, the kind of era we're in which you have the shortest guy in the starting lineup is 6'7". But what would I change with this lineup? That's the kind of question. And that's the tough thing, because if you look at his lineup, he only has two players that are not reward players in Chris Webber and Tyrese Haliburton. So when it comes down to what you would change if you have 150K, there's not much I can really say. Now, the biggest thing that I would say for this squad is eventually you're going to probably want to replace Obi Toppin. I think out of everyone here, he is the first guy I would look to replace. Or you could even say Moses Malone. Moses Malone could definitely be your first replacement. And Moses might be your first replacement, honestly. Him or Obi Toppin. So if you do decide to replace your center position, what are you looking at? What are you looking for? If you want to have that another kind of small ball type of mindset, you could pick up Magic Johnson for Moses Malone. I think Magic is that little bit better. I know you do have a shoe on Moses Malone, which makes it difficult. Or if you want to go with the small forward position, there's plenty of different avenues you could go for. What I would probably try to save up for is Andre Kirilenko for this squad. I think he's a pretty decent upgrade over Obi Toppin and what he can give you. Now, Obi Toppin is fine. There's nothing wrong with Obi Toppin. I just like AK a little bit more. And with your lineup, I mean, what do you want me to say? You have a all reward lineup anyway, so there's not much to really say, or there's not much you need. If you want to kind of just wait and see, wait for that next huge upgrade, you can definitely do that. But there's a lot of reward cards here that I definitely like. This next squad here was sent in by my guy Hudson on Twitter. Says he is getting super close to Paul Millsap. So the first thing that you got to think about for Paul Millsap is who do you want to get rid of? I mean, technically you could get rid of either Lionel Simmons, Malik Sealy, Andrew Wiggins, Richard Dumas, or LaMelo Ball. For me personally, I think I would probably lean to get rid of. It's tough. I mean, either Dumas or LaMelo Ball is probably where I'd lean. Let's just, for the sake of this video, replace. You know what? I heard Dumas on Next Gen is really like that. I love LaMelo Ball. Let's say for the sake of this video, you just want to. Let's say Andrew Wiggins just has to go for the sake of this video. Let's just say that. Either way, what I'm saying is you probably want to sell a guy that or get rid of a guy that you can sell. You want to probably keep Obi Toppin around, at least for the time being. So you add Millsap to your lineup. What is next, right? What is next? You're gonna have probably right now 90K. He said he could get anywhere from 100 to 100K to 120K. The next big adjustment, Joakim Noah, you gotta go and pick up Chris Webber. Now, here's the thing about Chris Webber. With this lineup, you're going to run your offense probably through Magic Johnson at the center position and, pick and roll with Chris Webber. But I just like that kind of the duo, right? You run Magic at center, you run Chris Webber at point guard. Both of those are very, very positive for you. And then you can make things work. This lineup looks a lot better than the lineup we started with, in my opinion. If you can't tell, I'm in love with the out-of-position Magic Johnson. This next squad here was sent in by my guy DK on Twitter. Says he is current gen and has 66,000 MT to work with. Now, I don't hate this squad. I don't love Harden, but obviously if he has Harden in his lineup, he must like him. So Harden we can leave. Now, one guy I am going to make a just simple swap with is LeBron James. I'm going to plug in Andre Kirilenko. I think AK-47, current gen, next gen, it doesn't matter, is much better than LeBron James. LeBron James' Inferno card right now is going for 200K. Andre Kirilenko's card right now is cheaper than that. I'm pretty confident. Andre Kirilenko, looking at his price right now, you're looking at 110. So you're going to get a little bit of MT back. You're looking at 100K total that you would have to work with at this point. Now, I don't like Bradley Beal either on current gen. I'm a bigger fan of Clyde Drexler than Bradley Beal. Whatever you choose is fine. He had a 13-man in here. You're probably only going to run a 10-man. So choose one, Bradley Beal, Clyde Drexler. For me, I'm going to choose Clyde Drexler, move him here. Now, the biggest thing with your bench that I want to kind of emphasize, your bench is fine, but you're going to want to put Chris Webber on the opposing team center probably, put LaMelo Ball on the point guard, something like that, just to kind of get that right, because it's tough running Chris Webber at point guard. Then you're going to want to handle the ball probably mainly with LaMelo Ball, but I don't mind your bench at all. Your starting lineup looks fine. The other thing I might suggest eventually is you might want to replace James Harden. That'd be the only other suggestion I might have eventually long-term wise, but this squad is fine. You can definitely work with this squad. Just a simple AK with LeBron replacement is what I would do. Alright, that was our last squad for today's episode of Extreme Makeover MyTEAM Edition. Again, it gets kind of hard for me outside of, the simple additions of the Chris Webbers of the world, the Grant Hills of the world. Those are pretty simple to me. Now, I do love Pink Diamond Magic at the center position. So even for my No Money Spent series, I don't love a lot of the centers. Magic Johnson, simple plug and play, guys. He is fine at the center position. Now, you are going to want to kind of run a tall lineup with him, but that's just kind of the way it goes. There's a lot to like about the new out of position set. So if you're looking for something to try in your lineup, try LaMelo, try Magic, try Chris Webber, try those types of guys in your lineup, and let me know how much success you guys have with it. But I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys and have a blessed day.